One of the cool things about Lightroom is it's designed to help you organize your photographs and even fix things from within the library module, so you don't need to spend ages in the develop module if you're just keen on quickly sprucing up problems with color and tone, for example. Take this shot here. If I double click to open the loop view, you can see it's looking very washed out. The colors are very desaturated. So what we can do is pop to this section here, quick develop, and indeed we could choose a preset by going to click here, going down to Lightroom general presets and choosing auto tone. And look at the histogram there, everything's clustered up towards the far right. There's no shadow information at the left until I tick that button there, and it's then tweaking the histogram. Now it's darkening the shadows, boosting the colors, and we can instantly see the shot looks better than it did before. But if you're not happy, you can always go to Edit Undo, and it's automatically restoring it to its original camera settings. This is a raw file. We can't permanently change any of the settings at all, so feel free to experiment with any of those presets because you can then undo things very easily. Let's pop back to a different problem by going to the grid view. I'm just going to double click to open up this portrait, and her skin looks a little bit too orangey due to the color balance setting used when capturing this picture. So I'm going to toggle open the quick develop option and have a look at the white balance section. Now, because this is a raw file, we can then go back in time and change our camera settings by clicking here and choosing something more appropriate. You could try using tungsten, which will try and cool down warm indoor light, but that's looking far too cold. So instead what we'll do is go to auto and see if it can just cool things down in a more natural way, and indeed that's looking more realistic and natural than it was before with the slightly orangey skin tones. The next thing to do is just to boost the color saturation, but we don't want to go too far, so I'm going to use the vibrance section because that tends to boost weaker colors without oversaturating stronger colors, and it tends to leave skin tones alone as well. So if I click here, we can increase the color saturation with a couple of clicks just to create a more striking picture. Now we're revealing a little bit more color in the backdrop there without making her skin tones look too orange. And the nice thing is we can also increase things using presets, even though we've started editing with these little sliders here, by going to custom and then going to Lightroom general presets. And if we want to add punch to the picture to make it print out with more impact, click here, and that increases mid-tone contrast and just gives some delicate details a stronger appearance. And you can also add more punch by manually increasing the clarity slider. You can either click here to make a big jump in clarity, or you can do it here by increasing it in a smaller increment. So I'm just going to click here just to boost the clarity a wee bit more and add a bit more punch to those delicate details, especially these mid-tone contrasty details around the clothing and indeed in the hair. It's always worth increasing the clarity if you plan to print your photograph. It just gives it a little bit more impact on the page. You've got other options as well, such as cropping the shot. If you go to crop ratio, there's a lot of presets, such as a 1:1, for example, which will give you a nice square crop. So that's a quick way of just cropping the shot without having to use the crop tool in the develop module. Though by using these presets, we have less control over exactly where it crops the shot. But if one preset doesn't work too well, you can experiment with other crop ratios, such as the 8:10, which produces nicer results. And you can even try black and white versions of your shots from within the quick develop module. If you go to black and white, you get a shot such as this, and then some black and white presets to experiment with as well. If you go down to Lightroom black and white filter presets, you can try different colored filters which will then lighten or darken different areas of the shot depending on their original color. So this is creating quite a striking monochrome conversion. And if you're not happy with the results produced by tinkering in the quick develop pane in the library module, you can always scroll down to here and click reset all to go back to your original camera raw file.